joining me now in their first live interview, Sharon Bielek and her attorney, Gloria Allred. Let me start with you, Sharon Bielek. A very dramatic day today. You were the first of the accusers to go public. What made you do that?
Well, like I said today, Pierce, is that I wanted to be able to put a face and a voice to those women out there that didn't want to or could not, for whatever their reasons are. I wanted to speak about this because I wanted to tell the truth.
Tell me this, when did you first meet Herman Cain?
I first met Herman in 1997 when I was employed at the Educational Foundation of the National Restaurant Association. Every year they have a show, the NRA show, and it's usually a 5-day show, so I had a lot of opportunity to engage in conversations during various events with him.
So you got to know him quite well, and then you were laid off, is that right?
Yes, I was terminated.
And you then made contact with Herman Cain?
Yes, at the urging of my then boyfriend. He was also with me at these events and thought that Herman thought I was a person that, you know, he respected me, and thought that I should seek out Herman to perhaps go to him and find out if I could be employed at another area of the foundation or with the National Restaurant Association state.
And whose idea was it to have dinner?
That was Herman's.
And you went to a restaurant, and did you drink alcohol?
I had a glass of wine, yes.
And did Mr. Cain drink?
Yes.
I mean, more than one glass, a bottle? I mean, how much did you have together?
I really can't remember, but I'm sure, you know, he probably had 2 glasses.
Right, and then he was driving the car?
Yes, because I took a train into town, so I did not have a vehicle.
And how had dinner gone? I mean, did you get on well with Mr. Cain? Was he a gentleman during dinner?
Absolutely, yes. I was telling him my plight, and he seemed concerned, and I trusted him. That's why I went to him, and I thought nothing differently throughout the dinner.
And what did he say to you during dinner? Did he say then that he would be able to help you, perhaps get your job back?
He not so much during dinner, but he said that he would look into it. That was his quote.
Right, and whose idea was it to then get in the car together?
Well, it was his, because I had to get a ride back to the hotel because I didn't have the car.
Right, so you get in the car, and then this advance is made. Were you shocked by what happened?
Very, very much so, because first of all, he had met my boyfriend. He knew I was in a relationship, and to me that's very sacred when you're in a relationship to, you know, be true to that person. And secondly, that this is a man that I went to for help. And he, you know, and the reason I went to him for help, because he's a powerful man within the organization. I respected him. I looked up to him. And it just was shocking to me that he would use that power in such a way. Obviously,
the cynics, and there will be many out there, will say, why have you waited 14 years to come out with these claims? Are you making any money from this? Do you intend to make any money? You're not being paid for this interview, but do you intend to make any money from your revelations?
Pierce, that was never my intention from the start, and it is not my intention to do it. I'm all about doing the right thing, about justice being served, and I wanted to do this because those that know me know I don't back down from controversy and things, and I felt I needed to do this for the other woman that couldn't or wouldn't, and regardless of what happens, and I know you're right, there's going to be a lot of backlash, and I'm going to have to suffer through that, and I'm sure I'm going to be not portrayed as, you know, different things, so I'm willing to handle it. I'm a tough girl.
You have a teenage child. Are you concerned about the impact of all this on your child?
Absolutely. He's the love of my life and the most important thing in the world to me. But you know, on the other hand, I want him to know that his mommy did something good for women, that she stood up for what she believed in, and I think that's more important lesson to learn, that I did something on behalf of women.
Herman Cain, through his campaign team today, has said the allegations are completely false. Quotes, Mr. Cain has never harassed anybody. They're basically calling you a liar.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know what happened, and he knows what happened. And it's unfortunate that one of my whole objectives was to give him the opportunity to come forward, to redeem himself, say, hey, I'm sorry. I did this, it happened, and let's move forward. And it is unfortunate, and I'm very disappointed that he didn't take the lead in this.
Have you at any stage in the last 14 years made any approach to Herman Cain to get some kind of apology from him?
No, absolutely not.
I mean, after this incident happened in the car, you then asked him to drop you back at the hotel. Was he apologetic in the moment? Was he aware that he had gone too far, if what you say is true?
Well, when you tell someone, you know, this is not why I'm here, please drive me back, and I was very stern, and yes, he knew. I wouldn't say he was apologetic, but he knew I wasn't happy about what went on. I wasn't in tears or anything, but he knew I was upset by it.
How many other people have known about what happened?
I only told 2 people.
And who are they?
We're not going to name them, Piers, but we are identifying them, as we did today, as a physician that she was dating who has provided a declaration under penalty of perjury to us, which we have signed, and also a very prominent businessman who has been a longtime friend and mentor of Sharon's, and he has also provided a declaration under penalty of perjury to us that she told them shortly thereafter, after the incident, that Mr. Cain had made sexually inappropriate advances to her and conduct and misconduct with her, but she did not provide the details to them. She was very, very embarrassed and shaken by the situation.
And Gloria, you'll be aware that Herman Cain's campaign has referred to you as an activist celebrity lawyer today, the clear implication being that you're jumping on this for, you know, personal fame and all the rest of it. How do you counter that charge?
Well, they didn't describe me the way most people would describe me, which is a women's rights attorney, which I have been for 36 years, and we've done more sexual harassment cases in our law firm, in our private law firm, than any other law firm in the country, and won literally hundreds of millions of dollars for victims of sexual harassment. So, but however, if they want to attack me, that's fine. Point is, when the public decides, I think the question is really this, Piers. Are they going to believe the word of 4 women, 2 of whom made claims of sexual harassment, which resulted in settlement, one who's anonymous, and another one who's come forward, that's Sharon, alleging sexual harassment? Are they going to believe those 4 women who don't know each other, at least as far as we know? Sharon doesn't know the other 3. Or are they going to believe the word of one man, Herman Cain, who has every motive to deny it? And that is really going to be a question for the voters.
Sharon, let me ask you, do you believe that Herman Cain should now stand down as a candidate for the Republican Party nomination?
I believe, up until this point, I believe that he first needs to apologize, and he needs to admit it. And then it's up to him to decide what to do next.
I think it's important, Piers, to know, too, that Sharon is a Republican. She is a registered Republican. She's proud to be a Republican. But nonetheless, she feels that given what has occurred, that she needed to speak out. And if all of the allegations by all of the women who have made them of sexual harassment are true, then what we have in Mr. Cain is a serial sexual harasser of women, a man who does not respect the right of women to be able to be employed or to seek employment with dignity and not have that employment opportunity interfered with by acts of sexual harassment.
Sharon, let me ask you, how did your boyfriend react when you told him at the time what had happened?
He tried to ask me more details, and I said, I really don't want to talk about it. And he's a doctor, he's a physician. He loves women and he loves children. So he respected my wishes. He knew I was upset. He said, you can tell me if you want to. And I didn't want to, again, because I was too embarrassed.
And Sharon, how do you feel emotionally about this? Obviously, you've now propelled yourself into the spotlight. I would imagine you gave that considerable thought. And you're going to be the centre of a media firestorm. How is this affecting you emotionally?
To be honest with you, right now, I haven't even watched any of the media. I know that in the next 2 days is when everything's going to all hit the fan, so to speak, and I'm prepared for it. Again, I'm a strong woman. I can get through this, and this too shall pass. I don't like what's going to happen, because I'm sure they're going to try to depict me in all kinds of ways, but that's the media for you. And
I have to say, Piers, that I really admire and commend Sharon's courage. It does take a lot of courage to come forward and know that you're going to be scrutinized in every detail. But as her friends have said in their affidavits to us, they know her to be very honest, very decent, and we're very proud of her that she has risked all that so that people can know what she alleges is the truth about Herman Cain, and at least what the conduct was towards her, or the misconduct towards her.
And Sharon, if you don't get the apology that you're seeking from Herman Cain, will you be taking further legal steps against him? Are you considering filing charges against him?
No, I'm not. I have no intention of doing so.
Why not?
Well, first of all, I believe the statute of limitations would have run out by now. And second of all, that wasn't my goal here. My goal was simply to get him to admit the wrongdoing. It wasn't to... Look, I had hoped today had turned out differently, that he would be calling a press conference, and it didn't. And so I hope that I didn't lose anything. I really hope that what I did will enable other women to come forward in similar situations. Unfortunately for Herman, he's still in denial.
We invited Herman Cain on to the show tonight. He declined that offer. My final question to you, Sharon, is simply, do you think that Herman Cain should become President of the United States?
I don't think we can have anyone in the White House who is unable to tell the truth.
Sharon Bilek, Gloria Allred, thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When we come back, the verdict making headlines around the world. Michael